Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
I did not look at the text messages just because you said don't.
So I read this and I switched up topics because this is hot off the weekend. And Lisa texted us early. It says, my girlfriends and I, we went out for drinks and dinner on Saturday night. We were at the bar. I started talking to this guy, very friendly, good conversation for about 30 minutes. He was very complimentary and called me voluptuous at one point. Two of my friends said that it was a total insult and that he meant you're cute but curvy.
Really? That's insulting?
And probably could stand to lose a few pounds. That's what her friends said to her.
Oof.
Says my other two friends disagreed with what they said. The word voluptuous, is it an insult? Is it a compliment?
I thought it was a compliment.
I don't know how to feel about this. I'm kind of confused. If your first initial feeling was that it felt like a compliment, just go with it. Voluptuous to me is like sexy. Voluptuous to me is like fluffy in all the right places. Maybe you got that maybe you got a good set of boobs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought voluptuous meant you were stacked.
Yeah.
I never thought that was like you're pudgy or anything. Like I've never associated that.
I think if it was a really good half-hour conversation and he was like, "Girl, you're looking voluptuous tonight."
It's probably better choices of words, but I don't think that would be a term.
I don't know.
This is interesting.
I'd prefer being called a snack. Someone saying, "Daz, what's up?" I'd like that when referring to my body.
But if you were told you were voluptuous, that would be okay with you or not okay?
I think you have to be there and see the face.
I'm asking you.
If I were her...
We do our next event, and somebody goes, voluptuous. I like that cat.
Voluptuous. I would take it as a compliment.
Okay.
Sometimes guys don't know what their words, like the weight of their words and what it can hold to a woman. But I don't think he was saying it with malice or to be rude.
Will you call just real quick as you're listening to this? I just want 5 seconds of your day. Is the word voluptuous rude to you, or do you consider it flattering and a compliment? Will you holler real quick? So after we've let everyone text in, what's the consensus? Voluptuous is good to say to a lady or not?
They are all saying it's a compliment. Leah says, I feel like the word voluptuous does not have a bad connotation, but I think her friends, that's what I'm thinking, is that you just learned a lot about what your friends think about your body. She said 2 are probably protecting her. And then the other 2 were like, there's nothing wrong with that. But the other 2 were saying, here, let me read her text super quick again. Lisa said, went out for dinner, drinks on Saturday night, had a great conversation with this friendly guy for about 30 minutes. He was very complimentary, but he called me voluptuous at one point. 2 of my friends said that it was an insult, saying that I am curvy, could stand to lose a few pounds. My other 2 friends disagreed and said that it is a compliment. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm confused.
So most people that are texting in say it's a compliment.
Yeah. I would say I would take it as a compliment, but you really have to read the person, too.
Dennis, thoughts on all this, man?
Yeah, why would he have said anything if he wasn't attracted to her?
That's what I'm thinking. And why would he give her 30 minutes of his time? Normally, if you are talking to someone at the bar and they're not really your type, don't you kind of see your way out and divert their attention so you can get out of it?
Them off and go to the next bar or something.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so I get it. Like, he's interested in her, but would you? Yeah, I'm trying to think of where my head went was what's the maybe offensive counter on a male perspective? Like, this girl's talking to you at the bar for 30 minutes, and she says what? And you're like, I don't know if that was a compliment or not. Like, what's the equivalent there?
I love your dad bod. Because dad bods are in right now, but some guys don't.
There you go.
Yeah, some guys don't want to hear that at all. But I think dad bods are cool. I don't know.
I see nothing wrong with it. But
yeah, I think voluptuous means you're sexy in the right spots. But it's just weird for being a dude, man. Because you don't know.
You would have sat there for a half hour with her.
Yeah, you don't know how these chicks think. That's the problem, man. Think about how far our society would be ahead if we had these ladies figured out a long time ago.
Voluptuous is better than thick with 2 C's, I think.
I thought thick would be sexier than voluptuous.
No, thick means you're like maybe bigger everywhere, but voluptuous is like you're big in the right places.
So just so we got this under control, don't say thick ever.
So if you would have said something like, "Hey, I like your rear end," he'd have probably been
You
going
got
to jail
some game.
for
Yeah,
assault.
listen,
got some
you're never going to be alone.
Okay, I have a question for you. You just told me off air that you have a pool tournament coming up.
Yeah.
And it's your first one in how many years?
Jeez, it's been like over a decade since I've played in like a real tournament. Like I play around a little bit here and there for money, but
My ex and I would go and watch him play. It
Yeah.
was like super hot to watch him play. Is Trish going to go and like
no,
that's
she
my
has
man?
she has no interest in this whatsoever.
So what are you going to wear? I'm like so interested.
Oh
in
my
this.
God,
Like, you haven't
I
done
don't know.
anything like this.
What am I, a plan the outfit out kind of guy?
I don't know. Is it like you and Barry walk in like leather outfits? Or are you a team? Do you have to
No.
wear the same shirt with your name
it's
on
just
it?
I know a guy and he knew about a tournament and he's like, "Do you want to come play?" And I'm like, "All right, I'll play." And it's really not that big of a deal. I think it's only like I think it's $20 or $25 buy-in, and I think grand prize is only $400. It's not. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Do you? Is there a back shot that you have to be quiet for? Like you know how?
Oh, I don't know.
supposed
You're
to talk and-
respectful, but I think people are talking. I think it's a bar.
Yeah.
I think it's.
That's what I was.
I don't think you got to sit. It's not like Wimbledon where you got to be quiet before they serve.
Uh huh.
No,
Do
and
you
I
wear
just
sunglasses?
you know, wear sunglasses play. But have you ever
I'm
seen
intrigued.
a billiard tournament?
And you have a carrying case and everything. Like so
Well,
nerdy.
you need how else do you? What do you bring? What would you
Just
if you had?
hold it.
No, because
Just
you have
hold
a
it.
jump cue and then and a break cue, and then you have your regular cue.
Does
So
yours
you-
disassemble?
yeah, of course.
And then you screw it in,
Well, yeah.
and then you bring your own chalk.
No,
Do you chalk your hands?
I will bring my own. No, I don't like chalk in my hands, but I'll bring my own chalk because
why not?
Because there's actually a difference in the quality of chalk.
Interesting. I feel like I'll have to go watch. What would you even do?
If you listen, if I got there and I'm warming up and I see that you're there, I'll probably leave.
If I
probably
just
wouldn't play.
roast
I would
you, or-
because it wouldn't even be that. It would just be people would assume that I'm responsible for your behavior, and I can't have that.
Who's this girl with?
I can't have
Who's
that.
she with?
That's something that I just can't deal with. Let's get to the 4B. Shut it. See, that's why I shouldn't have said anything.
You shouldn't
I
have.
should have just came back and said, I got my ass kicked in a pool tournament this weekend.
No, I
And
think
then-
it's fun that you're doing something for you. I think this is good because normally you say, I went to the gym, I went to the Mac, and then I went
That's
home.
my life right now. But and this was we've been waiting. I've been waiting. I think they do this tournament every Sunday.
Oh, so you have many opportunities.
But I'm
to do
like
this.
so busy. This was the first one, and we started talking about this in like Thanksgiving. But this is the first Sunday that I've had open where I didn't have anything going on that I was able to play, and so I don't know. I'm excited. I guess it's a bigger deal to you than apparently it is to me. Worse,
Well,
I'm
me
going to do.
riding a recumbent bike is a bigger deal
Listen,
to you than it is
that's a big
to
deal
me.
to everybody. To see any grown woman on a recumbent bike willfully,
Any
not
man walking in with a pool stick bag, that's the equivalent of.
it's a case, not a bag. I'm not putting it in a grocery bag. I can't have it rattling around in there and getting nicked.
Okay.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Good luck
Let's
to
get
you.
to the yeah, I feel that's so backhanded. I start your day with a joke that was sent in by my friend Jim.
Is it clean?
Yeah, it's
Jim
clean.
is
It's
not always
right,
clean.
and that's why I run them past you usually before the show starts. But he just texted me this one. He said, "Here's one for the radio. It's clean enough." Hey, Kat,
What?
you see that one-legged man at the ATM?
I didn't.
Yeah, he was checking his balance.
Oh, it's all
Come on,
fun and games,
come
Jim,
on.
until you lose a leg.
Come on, guys, that was super funny. I like that. Jim, well done, young man. I appreciate that.
Oh
What did
my
you do
God.
over the weekend? Give me something fun.
Speaking of jokes, I take Liam and two friends for ski club every Friday at Powder Ridge. And on our way
Is it
home.
an actual club, or are you calling it this?
Well, okay, so there's Becker Ski Club, but Liam and I have that endorsement with Powder Ridge. So we just meet his friends out there or bring them out.
Oh, they're part of the ski club. You're just crashing.
We just bring them.
Gotcha.
And then, so on the way home, it's always a yo mama joke off.
Ooh.
And they are getting brutal now that they have phones to Google like better ones.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yo, mama's so fat. When she stepped on a scale, said to be continued. I was like, oh my God, you guys are like literally evil. So had that on Friday, had just a rager of a headache by the time I got home. Basketball and Foley. It's kind of crazy how you can rock the first game, lose by like 1 or 2 the second game, and then all of a sudden you're playing for third place. It just sucks. But they killed it either way. It was a really good tournament. Cleaned, started Kaleidoscope.
I'm telling you,
It is-
it is super addictive. Now, if I
Yes.
understand it correctly, you see it in a different order than I saw it.
That can't be true.
And it is, because it doesn't matter which order you watch it in. It all makes sense in the end.
So let's talk off air to see what episodes went in what order. But I feel like that's not true. I feel like they just tell you why the background of each character.
What was the first episode?
The first episode.
What was going on in the first episode? Just tell me. I won't break it for you then.
He goes to the meat shop and gets Stan in on it.
My first episode is they are currently in jail.
That was your first episode?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That was my second episode.
Yeah, we all watch it in different. I'm telling you, you watch it. It was my favorite thing that I've watched on Netflix.
No
in
way.
Years.
No way.
And I love a good caper, man. It got me thinking. I think I could get together with the people I know. I think I could get 3 or 4 guys together and we could rob anything. I'm not going to do it. I don't endorse it. I'm not trying to.
Maybe a Girl Scout cookie stand.
No.
You guys could not get away with
I think
anything.
we could rob some high-level institution if we had to.
Okay.
If it meant, like, if I got diagnosed, oh, gosh, you don't even, I almost blew the whole thing for you.
No, Parkinson's.
Yeah, okay. If
See,
I got diagnosed.
I've watched many episodes because I cleaned, like, the whole house and did a ton of laundry. So every load of laundry, I would watch an episode, and it's really good.
Have any of your episodes had Leo getting shot yet?
Leo getting shot?
Yeah. I said too much.
Leo getting shot. Yes.
In the back of the head, though.
Stop that. He doesn't get shot in the back of the head. Anyway, so we went from basketball to baseball in 20 hours. I was like, what the heck? But we had baseball last night. It was awesome. Liam felt really comfortable, and we're just going to keep going with that. Until
45 days till we start high school practice. People are starting to get fired up about Gwyneth Paltrow saying this.
You're co-parenting when you have...
Which is hard. It's hard on a relationship. Like, I've looked back now on, like, the data set of parents with young kids. Ruins the relationship, like, for a while. It's really hard.
Really?
Don't you feel like it has?
No.
Sometimes, in a sense. Well, think back to when your kids were really young. And it was literally just getting by. Did you ever feel like that? Of course you felt like that. That you were 2 ships in the night, that you were just kind of...
Yeah, but like that...
Going through the motions.
But that was the plan.
That is the plan.
Like I get it. Everybody goes into a relationship differently. Everybody has kids differently. But that was our plan. Like, we had careers on track, degrees got done, kids... Make a move to a city you want to stay in for a long, long time, then have maybe one more kid and get them into the schools. Like, we had a plan. I know not everybody does, but we followed our plan. So, like, I knew when we had little kids, I was going to see a whole lot less of, like, I'd have a lot less one-on-one time with my wife. But knowing that they're going to get older and then they're going to have their own, like, we're at that point now where I got 2 in college, 1 in high school. There's not a whole lot. Other than driving them around that we're doing with our kids right now. So we have a lot more time for us.
I think having one kid is a luxury in the sense that I never felt like I lost my relationship with Derek. We were very much teammates, and we only had one. You know, we didn't ever feel outnumbered, but I get what Gwyneth Paltrow is talking about. Could also have factored in the fact that you were with a rock star.
Yeah,
I mean, touring.
And you're on set all the time. Like, I mean, that's a difficult thing, right?
Yeah.
He's on the road. You're on a movie set. I mean, who's watching the kid?
Every person's situation, every family is different with how they do things and how they handle stress and everything like that. Do you agree that your life would be, and this is we don't have to say your name, because I don't know a lot of people that would.
Nobody's going to call in and say, I wish I didn't have kids.
Actually,
I don't think anybody's going to call in and say that. You have a friend that said, I wish we'd never had children?
I have a friend that has 2 kids, and she always talks about where her life would be.
Well, that's one thing.
But it's more so the longing. Like, you can tell when someone's like, oh, man, if I didn't have kids, I'd be touring with so-and-so or whatever. I'd be living this bachelorette life, but the way she talks about it is like she's longing for it. And she's got a long time to go. Her kids are like 5 and 7. I'm like, oof. You have a ways, girl.
People are fired up because Gwyneth Paltrow is basically saying, you know, life might have been easier, or at least my marriage would have been better without kids.
You're co-parenting when you have...
Which is hard. It's hard on a relationship. Like, I've looked back now on, like, the data set of parents with young kids. ruins the relationship like for a while. It's really hard.
Jeez.
I do personally think if you have a spouse that's done having kids, maybe you have two and then you have one, like, let's just have one more. You really got to listen to the one that says no, because you need that extra person to help you out, especially if you have 3 kids. I don't think anyone should be forced into having another kid. There's a reason you say no.
Carrie, thoughts on this? Do kids ruin relationships?
I gotta say no. Actually, I was 17 when I got married. My husband is 3 years older than I am. However, it's about the adults and making sure that you're ready. So I'd have to agree with being able to make sure both of you are in it to win it.
Yeah.
But it is not the child's fault. I have 3 beautiful children. They're amazing, and it's about the 2 of you working on it. Is it hard? Damn right it is. But it is about making sure that the 2 adults in the relationship take care of themselves. Okay, it's about the 2 of them and letting the children know that mom and dad are first, they're second, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's how my husband and I did it. And I'm grateful for it because if one of them is off, those kids know it. They smell it.
So I have a question for you. You were 17 when you got pregnant. Do you feel like there is
When you
truth
got married.
to when you got married?
Yeah.
How old were you when you got pregnant?
17.
Oh, okay. So they
17.
go hand in hand. All right, I got you.
So I'm just wondering, do you feel like there's truth to the you're never going to be prepared enough to have a baby, or you could probably be prepared a little bit more than some are? You know, like you could always have more money. You could always plan a little bit more to bring a kid in to like ease that whole situation.
I never would suggest getting married at 17.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to make sure that the parents are supporting that child because once they take a breath, you are giving who you are to them and making sure that they be the best person that they can be.
Yeah.
And my husband and I had decided. So, you need to make sure you get yourself in order first. I was very blessed to have a husband that knew his stuff, and he kind of raised me and our first child
Wow.
for the first
A lot of credit.
for the first 5-6 years. But after that, I joined him in the parenting, and I can't be more proud because him and I made the pact of we want our children to be better than we are, and they are.
Like it.
That's
I like
so
it.
sweet.
I've said that 100 times. Thank you very much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you.
You betcha. Have a great day.
Take care. I got time for one more call here real quick. Alice, thoughts on this? Like, do kids ruin relationships?
I mean, honestly, it sounds really bad, but I kind of have to agree.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 kids of my own, and after the first kid, things were fine, but we definitely started fighting more just because newer arguments come up about raising kids and how to deal with certain situations and just more stress and pressure.
Yeah.
And now that I'm on my 3rd, it just.
So why do you
more
keep
and more.
having kids then if you're feeling like every single one kind of adds to more stresses? Why didn't you guys just stop at 1?
I mean, I love my kids. I wanted them to have siblings. I grew up with a bunch of siblings, so
Yeah.
that's kind of just always been my thing. And my husband's an only child. He wanted a big family, so that's what we wanted for ourselves. But I do often think about what life would be like if I wasn't in this situation.
I had Liam with me, and we were walking, bringing the stuff back to the car, and then we had to go back into the mall. And we walk up next to my car. There's another car parked that literally had floor to ceiling trash, floor to ceiling garbage. And I don't know how they get in and out. They must just use
It's a lifestyle.
the driver's side door, but I don't know. You open up one of those, I mean, it's just over everything onto the street. So it's gonna be a process to clean up that car. But Liam's like, geez, they'll never forget where their car's at. I mean, it was really bad, I don't know how your car gets like that, but there are certain people that have cars that are recognizable. There's that art car that drives around with like bones all over it.
Well, how about the one that's got, it's like an El Camino with a topper on it, and it has like furniture. It's like it has to be all their worldly possessions roped to it, and it looks like they could fall off at any time. But I see the same stuff. I mean, it has to be the equivalent of a shopping cart for a homeless person.
Yeah, like Bonnie the Barfly, she'll never lose her car. Anytime I see it, I am always in the same parking lot as that woman, but she has a very identifiable car. But what about your car stands out? I know that my Aunt Kathy, she had the eyelashes on her VW Bug for a while, and they would just like flutter in the wind.
Yeah.
And what else? I love the people that have the antlers around Christmas time coming out of both sides of their car windows.
Red nose on the front,
Yeah.
like a Rudolph. I just have the where my kids go to college stickers on the back window.
I don't have one thing. I don't have anything hanging off a mirror. I don't have anything in the back window. I feel like I'd like to get like a window cling of like a bulldog or something. I don't know.
During the summer, I guess I have an identifiable hitch for our jet ski. I just leave the hitch out. My hitch. I know the looks of my hitch.
Okay. It's not a special colored hitch.
No, so like if we were to see your car, we'd know it was yours. How, Carmen?
Okay, so my brothers have called me Kermit since I was really little.
Okay.
And I have a Kermit the Frog hanging in my back window, and I've had it for years. And so everybody, whenever they see that, they know it's my car.
So is this big enough for you to get pulled over and have somebody give you a ticket?
No, it's like one of those, like, it's like the size of like a Garfield thing that like suctions to your back window.
Oh, okay.
Remember those back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a Kermit the Frog, like a springy thing that just suctions on the back window.
That's cute. My Aunt Nora used to line up all of her Beanie Babies face out, so whoever was behind her could see all their faces, and you could not see out the back window. And she never got a ticket. It was really weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Hey, do you know what's green and smells like pork?
Oh, Kermit Oh my gosh, I love that show.
Okay.
You leave Target, you go out to your car, and you see the vehicle next to you just filled with garbage.
Yes, it was floor to ceiling. I've never seen anything like that. That has to be a hoarder situation or you just get so overwhelmed you don't know how to even start to clean it out.
They could be living in it too, you know.
But where? You just like live in
front seat,
the front seat.
driver's side seat, and then everything else is probably in the back seat or the trunk.
That was the only part that you could see out of. Even the front window, it was only half of the window.
Ooh.
I don't know how they haven't been cited or pulled over. Maybe they have, but it was crazy intense. But Liam's like, well, they'll never lose their car.
So we started talking about like the identifying thing in your vehicle. Like you go to the parking lot, you guarantee your vehicle is going to get noticed. Why? And you mentioned that the people with the eyelashes or the Rudolph nose, to all of that stuff takes backseat to Cassie. Hi, Cassie. How are you?
Good.
We would know if we were driving behind you on the interstate today because...
Oh, no.
So I have a big sticker in my back window that's like bright pink, and it says, if you're going to ride my...
Yeah.
At least pull my hair.
What do people think when you pull up to church? Or what do your parents think when you pull up to Christmas and they're like, Cassie, why?
Well, I don't go to church, so that's out of the question.
Well, then you just have to back into that parking spot, too. You know what I mean? Just make sure nobody's... Now, I'm assuming you've had people like pass you and give you the thumbs up, and they seem probably supportive of this message.
Actually, I really don't get a whole lot of anything from anyone, so...
I bet they talk about you.
I think, everybody's talking about this. They get to work and they go, you know, a car I passed on the highway today, it said this. So
they have to do a lot of lying. Can you imagine like having your kids in the car and then you have to lie?
I was going to ask, do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Cassie! Oh my God! You are one of those moms that are like IDGAF. I just can't. That's so
Cassie,
funny.
you keep being yourself. We love you. Have a great morning. So when you went away to college and you went to broadcast school, did you live at home still?
So I tried to live alone. Not alone, but out of my parents' house for about 6 months. And that's how long my money got me.
Ran out of cash. Okay.
That's how far. And I feel bad every time I moved until I was like 23 3 years old, my brother and my dad would move me, and I wouldn't pack anything up. I would just be gone that
watch
weekend.
Them do
no,
it.
I wouldn't even be there. I'd like book a gig, so I didn't have to be there. Now looking back, like wow,
so
how horrible.
My daughter Reagan is away at college, and you tell me if this is hilarious or not. She's out having a very, very good time on Friday night with her friends.
Okay, good.
And my wife gets a text, right? We're in bed. It's 11:45. We're old people. We're sleeping. My wife phone ding, and I hear it too. And usually I'm like, oh God, what's wrong? It's one of the kids. They need money. They got arrested, whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
My daughter was at an establishment serving libations.
Okay.
And my daughter, who has just been home for an entire month for Christmas break, just went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Here was the quote. It was a picture of my daughter and two women that neither my wife or I knew.
Okay.
Women, I would guess by the looks of them, in their 40s, maybe in their 50s.
Going out for some margs. Okay.
The caption to this picture of my daughter and these two random women: met these people who seemed like moms and realized I missed you so much, so had a picture taken with them. Love you, Mom. Miss you.
Oh, she just wanted the mom vibe.
So that was it. Like, have you? It cracked me up so bad to think of these two women look like they got all made up to go out.
Yeah.
Found themselves amongst a bunch of college kids, and one of them walks up to him and goes, "Hey, you look like a mom. Can I take your picture with me? Just tell my mom how much I miss her."
That's sweet.
Okay, is it sweet or funny?
Yeah, I thought it was sweet.
All right.
If I were that age, if I were your wife's age, and some kid walked up to me and was like, listen, but I would also think, is this their backstory? And then they're going to use it to make fun of me. What are they making fun of me for?
And then it ends up on the radio 3 days later?
Yeah. Why? Do you think it was sad?
I thought it was sad. I thought it was sad that these women who, I mean, clearly they were out to just have a good time, right? But you hit a certain point where you don't want to party with the college kids anymore.
Yes, I know.
And it looked like these women had probably hit that point years earlier and then got caught in the wrong situation.
What'd your wife think? Did your wife go, "Aw"?
I think she was torn. I think she was torn because my wife still, like, you know how we all have the perception that we're much younger than we really are?
Yep.
I think my wife had conflicting feelings with that, going, I don't look that old as these ladies do.
Maybe she doesn't look that old, but I mean, I think ever since she started that whole water propel rule, like when you start rules into drinking nights, then you really show your age.
I just thought it was kind of funny. My daughter missed my mom. My daughter missed my wife so much that she found two random older women to take pictures with and say, I miss you, Mom. These guys reminded me of you.
Well, if that's the sincere reason, then that's really sweet. She really missed her mom.
Maybe. I feel like there's something deeper because this one's the smart one.
Yeah.
So I think she knew better. I think there's some really smart-ass underlying. Yeah, there's something there.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.